And this is a musk turtle, and that's a musk turtle. Okay, so 2.5 years ago, I saw an advert for an urgent rehome on 2 musk turtles where I live. And when I went round there, they were in an extremely small tank, half the size of this. And they actually stank. The sand was black. It was horrible, and I felt I needed to have a look and see what I could do. And now at the time I knew nothing about turtles. I should have understood that a musk turtle, okay, musk meaning smell. They do smell. Not always. Mainly when I got my hands in the tank giving it a clean. They don't really need a heater, although I have put a heater in there and it's set at the moment at 19 degrees. It hasn't come on. My room temperature's above that, so it never comes on. Ideally, I wanted to have lots of plants in here, slow moving water, just to sort of get their ambience the same, you know, the way they are in nature, okay? They're happy enough. They've laid eggs, but they never hatched, which was a bit upsetting. So, where we are now? Well, I went out and bought a new tank, which was the Fluval, I think it's 200 litre. I should have bought the 240, to be honest, and I shouldn't really house the two together. I believe they're male and female, and they do fight. At the moment, I've got bare bottom in there. There's a reason behind that. I've got a biocenosis basket in there, which does drag some stuff in, as you can see by the coloration. But to be honest, you need a filter regardless. These do not work as filtration. They help, but they're not 100%. I would never ever recommend just having them, unless you've got a pond and you can sort of half the size again. As you can see, there is flow. Now that is a 406 that I'm running at the moment, and it does keep the water clean. And I also use this. And that is for the UVB. Now, because turtles have a shell, they need calcium. So I do feed them pellet, because I know the pellet has a lot of calcium in it, and I ordered it specifically for that. Also, they need a metabolizer, and a metabolizer is UVB. That's what helps convert it into shell. Yeah, look here. Look. Now, ideally you want only one, okay? And you want them in at least 200 litres. A 200 litre tank or 4-foot tank is fantastic. And you can mess about with their environment a little bit more than I can. At the moment, it's very blasé of what I've got in there. I've never actually seen these musk turtles come out of the water, except to put eggs down. I will be doing something on that. I did have a complete array of equipment in there to help that. But to be fair, they never did it. They used to just bury it. And then I had a breakdown in the sand. I believe a treatment that I used, okay, because I thought I had ick with the fish that I had in there, which were guppies, and yes, they can live together. So I treated it, and suddenly everything just shut down. The filter shut down, everything shut down. So be advised, these are messy creatures and they do need high maintenance. I water change twice a week, 10%, and then I do a clean once a week. Now I clean the tank probably once every 2 weeks, and I do that because I don't want to disturb them too much. I will be changing up some stuff in here. I'll be putting that light back in tomorrow. At the moment, they haven't got a UVB light in there. Do not get the cheap ones off Amazon. They are pointless, but they're looking quite happy. I will be getting some hides in there. Most of the stuff you buy off Amazon, to be honest, is the cheap resin stuff. It's okay, But there you go, that's basically it at the moment. I'll be doing another kind of, well, to see what happens with what goes on in here. I'm not happy at the moment with what it is. You can fill the tank up, by the way, as long as they've got some way of getting up to the surface, but they do have a membrane and holes in their nose, which means they can actually stay underwater. Yeah, that's a good little picture, isn't it? Grumpy git, isn't he? Yeah, so can you have fish in there? Yes, you can. A couple of other questions I've had is about the flow, that people have been saying I've got too high a flow in there. Well, yes, I have, because they are filthy, disgusting animals, and I should never have got two in the same tank. Having said that, these are rescued, and they were, well, one of them was definitely supposed to move on. Unfortunately, the person, this was during COVID as well, we had just coming out of COVID, and the person had a medical condition because of COVID, which I believe has actually gone really bad now. So we need to decide on what we were going to do with them. I've kept them, and as I say, I've put them in a bigger tank, so we're going to see what happens with that. A couple of notes: these are not waterproof, so make sure you keep them well above the water. And any condensation, I would say give them a wipe off every so often. You will get condensation on anything. They do have a nice reflector on these, and I will be doing something with the lid on this tank, but just keep an eye on it. Yeah, okay, things to look out for if you are going to buy a tank. First of all, filtration is key. You need to filter these a lot, but you need a diffused sort of output. I've done it above the water because that helps for gas exchange. Obviously, if you agitate the water, you can see a bit of floating food in there. I'll show you the food in a bit. Also the shell, give them a little scrape. If you get a lot of stuff on your nails, it means they're calcium deficient, so you will need to give them calcium. A good quality pellet will have that. Make sure you get it from a good company. Swell Reptile, very good. Ornaments, resin, best thing, but they will destroy whatever they come in contact with. I had pond plants in here, and as you can see, nothing, gone. These pond plants were in there for a very long time, and they just kept destroying them bit by bit, so just be mindful of that. Yes, you should have something where they can come out and dry off. Now, when you buy something, make sure it's got holes in, because if it's got standing moisture on it, which it will have in this environment, they can't dry off properly and they can go mouldy. So that's another thing. I normally take these out, give them a little bit of a wipe over, with obviously a clean, nothing on it, just make it wet out of the tank water, and then just give them a rub over. The food, let's have a look at the food. I've got this pellet. This pellet came from Swell, and this, which is like a natural food, by a company called Super, which we all know. I will be setting up that light, so you will get it at the moment. At the moment, there's just the Aqua Sky in there that comes with the tank. And that's about it, really. That's wrapped up. Can you put stuff in there? Now, substrates, whatever substrate you put in there, make sure it's bigger than their mouth, okay? Or sand, because they will swallow it. They will try and get calcium and whatever else they can out of that. And they do tend to have a little munch on it. So whatever it is, make sure, because otherwise you can kill your turtles, you know what I mean? Let's have a look. God, I've got a sore throat. Do you need a heater? I'm putting a heater in there, or I've got a heater in there, purely for stability. I want to keep the water as stable as possible at the right temperature, and that's why I've done that. Well, there you go. You need another clean by the look of it. Guys, thanks very much for watching and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. It makes it all worthwhile. Thank you very much.